Wow. Um, I just got back home from Swedish nationals, and now some might have a couple questions, right? Because there were some things that happened in top four. I will get to that. I want to do a full analysis, or like not really analysis, just full breakthrough of the games that I played during the weekend, and we'll build up to that. We'll build up to that because I think it's very important. And it's gonna say a lot of things, right? So I first of all, I didn't know what deck to play. I had thought about playing Florian still because that's what I've been playing. That's what I know. Like consistent, good damage, just play good numbers, but LSS banned Germinate, and I was like, don't really want to do that, especially not with Everbloom Life not being as good for Florian as they seem to have intended. Like, the Germinate ban definitely took a bigger hit on him than I think it should have, and that was meant to even. But I think this also came a lot to do with the addition of Gravy just being good in the meta because like Gravy just says no to whatever Florian wants to do. Like Gravy can just establish a double Sawbones board, and like how does Florian really break that without any easy access to go again? Like Victor can at least pressure their life totals with big attacks, but Florian only has 3 really in felling. The other one's just coming for 6, and it's very easy to block, right? So I was like, well, let me call up my old friend here, or not really old friend. I mean, he's kind of young, right? Like Kalle, uh, otherwise known as Yuuto, and I was like, "Yo, can you give me some Auxilio coaching?" Like I'm thinking of playing Auxilio for Nats. I think for me it was either Auxilio or Syndra. I didn't really want to play Syndra because I thought that since it's Sweden, there could be a lot of Victor there. We do still like our Guardians, and I didn't really want to play Syndra into a Victor because that matchup really sucks. I played that matchup a bunch before, and it really, really sucks. And so I was like, well, let me go with Vasilio. So I did the one coaching session with him, or coaching and coaching. I mean, like we were just playing and talking, really. But it was coaching adjacent at least, right? That's up on his YouTube channel. You should go watch it. I'll probably link it in this video. So I did that session, and then during the course leading up to NAST, I've talked with him more, and I've tried to just like get better at the deck. I played the deck a bunch, so like I have a fair few games in it. I don't have as much as him, like, but I have a good amount of games in Osidio still, I think. And so I was like, yeah, I want to take this to NAST. So I asked more friends, like I asked Jacob to test with me, so I tested a bit of the Verdance matchup. Then I asked one of his teammates, Matt, to test with me, and so I tested a bit of the Vincent matchup. I didn't end up going into Vincent, but I think it's still good testing. And then I tested some drafts with Matt and stuff, and I tested a lot for this event. So I'm very happy with how it turned out. I tested like a whole bunch just because it was a new deck for me, so I really wanted to get it going. So leading up to the event, I slept really well the day before and woke up at 5 and was like, yeah, we're going today. This is gonna be good. Uh, Rock up, I go to Ica that's close by, buy my bananas for the day, because always during Nats, this is something that I should be doing for other events as well, but always during Nats, I always, always, always have bananas with me. So I go like one for almost every round. I buy like 6 bananas, and that's enough. So I take one after first DC round, second, third. Then, since I know that we have lunch break, I go eat lunch. That's usually enough to get me through the draft, or like 2 draft rounds. So then I go after the like after the last draft round, I eat one banana, and then I usually don't have anything for the last round. Maybe I should get that. I think so. So yeah, work on that. But yeah, so I do that, and then we get paired. Or like we get some information, of course, like it's nationals. We get paired. I get paired into a friend. a previous local of mine, because I just recently moved back for the summer. So I got paired into a local of mine on Kasai. So like this is a very good matchup. I'm already like this is a very very good matchup for me. This feels very comfortable. I have time to find combo. I have time to do things, right? You would think so. This is the expectation of the matchup. Of course you would think so. But no, that doesn't happen. What ends up happening is I don't find combo. I just mid-range him to death. Like I think I didn't even pop Greaves that game. Like, I had no combo. I drew no hand that wanted to combo. I saw like very few sigils. And the ones I saw, played Glyph Overlay on. Like, I played Glyph Overlay twice. So I basically saw the same sigils over and over again. I saw like a bunch of sigils towards the late game, but he was already dead. So that was round one. Felt pretty comfortable. Not a big fan of not comboing though. I think that made it a lot closer, and maybe I could have looked for a combo, but I just didn't. So felt pretty good. 1-0. 1-0 feels really really good in these events because for me it really builds momentum towards the later stages of the round. So then round two, what did I get paired into? I think round two was a Dory. Round 2 I got paired into the Rintia. Again, same thing with Warriors. They don't like their AB, but this one was on AB2. The Kasai was only AB1. So the AB2 made it a little bit more difficult because now I had to play more, but like during the first game when I just saw my mind warps, and that meant that I could mid range. This time I didn't see as many mind warps, but I got some pretty good hands that could just like grind him down. And then I ended up popping Grief for like one action point just to get a Mind Warp over his AB so that I could get tempo. And that basically won me the game. So it was very interesting. Not really something that I looked at doing before, but this happened a lot this event. Like my Greaves pops were really, really suspicious. Like I popped Greaves for basically whatever. Like I usually popped Greaves for only one action point, not big combo turn as you usually do. Uh, but only for one action point, right? So then going into round three, I'm feeling pretty good, and I'm up against Klaus on Victor, a very good friend of mine, a very very good friend of mine who's playing Victor. So it feels pretty bad, you know, having to beat someone like that feels pretty bad, especially someone that like I play with him a bunch. I've tested this matchup a lot, so we both know it. I think what this game boiled down to was me winning at rounds. Or I didn't win at rounds, but he didn't win at rounds. So I didn't lose it, which is the important part, right? Like the Victor matchup is very flippy. They can present a lot more damage than what you're really comfortable with. You would think that it's a very easy matchup because it's like Guardian, hoo hoo, but Victor can present like a surprising amount of damage out of nowhere. I noticed the same thing with both the Warriors. Like there was a surprising amount of damage out of just left field, and I was left there with like one health, and then I kind of did like a small combo, not a big one, just a small one because it was kind of low. We had been grinding each other down a little bit, and so then I got it. I got the win, and since we were done early, we went to eat because we have lunch break after into the draft. Now, the draft was something that I had prepared for. I was a bit scared for the draft, to be honest, but I had prepared for it a little bit. I had talked with Matt. I had done some real life test drafts. I drafted some on the Runaways queue. I've done a bunch of drafts. And so it was something that I felt comfortable with. I felt most comfortable drafting Marlin, definitely. I don't think I'd ever really drafted the others. Like, I had online, but not in real life, so I wasn't super comfortable with it because I had it like most seats I found myself in just felt like Marlin seats, so that's what I did, right? I just drafted Marlin. So yeah, and then I still drafted Marlin. I got a like our pod felt very weird. It felt very low powered the first two packs, and then the third pack, then like this last two packs just felt like okay. Here's where the power is, I guess. Um, like the first pack, I what did I pack on pick one? Was it not? It wasn't on the horizon. I don't think it was. 'Cause I think it was equipment actually. which I think has to have been a mistake. But like my pack was really bad. Like I don't think it had any like of the red big attacks. It didn't have like a golden tipple in it or anything. I wasn't gonna force anything, so I just wanted to stay open. So I think I took equipment if I remember correctly. Then I got past like an on the horizon, which I think I took. And then like yeah, the rest of the pack just I wanted to try to stay open, but Marlin looked really, really good. So I hedged into Marlin early. I'm glad I did because otherwise I think my draft would have been very, very bad. Pack 2, I guess, passed a big game trophy shot, which I was very happy to just take. I think it was either that or Harpoon. Wait, no, that wasn't another. That was on the armory draft. But I took the big game trophy shot. I think it's a bit better. I think it's very good because like if you don't have if you have an arrow in hand, you can activate Marlin and you just get the harpoon and just discard the harpoon for free essentially. And if you don't, you can just get harpoon with overpower because you're probably on a harpoon Marlin, and that's pretty good. Um, so that happened. I took a little bit of the big attacks. I had like walk the plank and stuff. So a little bit of the big attacks. But what I was missing was really blues. Like I didn't have an amazing deck, and I was missing some blues. So I was like, okay, pack 3, I'm gonna look for blues. Got like no blues. I think I ended on 11 blues, which is okay. I've seen worse. I've seen better, but 11 blues was okay. I think my deck was a very 2-1 deck. But my first matchup was a lone puffin, and I think I could have been puffin because that deck was cracked, or it looked cracked at least. Like I think it should have like I don't know, it looked very cracked because he had the option to take Cog in the Machine or Jolly Bludger. He chose Jolly Bludger, which I think might have been a mistake. But like his deck was really good. Like he had 3 red Goldwing Turbines, 3 blue ones, and I'm like, oi, what do I do here? But I managed to win it with a Harpoon for 10 overpower, which is kind of strong, right? He kind of stumbled after a bit. He didn't really get his pieces and what he needed, so he stumbled, and I was able to take advantage of it, and that's how I won that game. Then I went up against Niklas Asner on Skurv. There was one Skurv in the pod. I figured this because you see not so fast, and you're like, okay, there's a Skurv in the pod. Um, the game was very, very close. I was very close to just having it, and me being the undefeated player instead of him. So I was very, very close to having it. But I didn't. So I had to draw a blue because if I draw a blue, I activate Harpoon. He's at 2, and I don't think he had any block cards in hand. So I send my Harpoon in for 6. He doesn't have enough equipment block. He dies. But I didn't. I found a yellow, and then I lost the game because he got to keep cards. And so that was pretty bad. But anyway, those things happen, right? Like that's kind of outside of my control. But that really stung because if I would have drafted more blues, my chance would have been up, right? So going into game 3, I was like, just chill, just get the win, play consistently, play confidently, and you're fine. So that's what I did. My opponent felt a little bit tilted from the way he played, uh, and that made it a lot easier for me to get the win, I think. So yeah, I got the win. I went to 1 in draft, and that felt really, really good. Because 5-1 means that I need one more win to basically secure top 8, which felt really, really good, especially in that position. So round 7 comes around, and I'm paired into one of the best players in Sweden, Joakim Gustafsson, the previous national champion. Now, we are both locals, like he's from Uppsala, I'm from Uppsala. So I was thinking like, what do I do here? Like I have my board plan. I asked you about the board plan later for top 8, it will be relevant. And that was very much different to what I had, so that's fun, playing the wrong board plan into him. Um, or like a little bit wrong. Not really, but a little bit. Um, so yeah, I I kind of just traded with him, to be honest. Again, I like my Greaves pop was for 1 action point, where I then Comet Stormed for 9, and that won me the game. But like off of an eclectic madness, like it was very, very suspicious. Like no like big Greaves turns had come up yet. And so like I was like, okay, sure. Then yeah, that happened. Like the game just kind of went my way. It went very smoothly. It didn't feel like he really was in control. It felt like I was just having the tempo all the time and could just mid-range him and leak some damage, play some big spells. And he never really got his foot in the game, never really got going, to be honest. Um, then we have round 8. Now this was on stream, I believe. We're not gonna watch the game. I might do a reaction where I watch my free games. That's might happen like next week. Let me recharge, you know. So round 8 comes around. I get paired into a Fang. Now I'm already locked at this point because I'm 6-1, so I'm locked. I'm playing for standings, and because I want good standings, I'm always gonna play to win. I think every game of Flesh and Blood, I'm always gonna play to win. Uh, like it doesn't really matter for me. I want to play to win. Otherwise, I think it's like kind of dishonest on my part. And again, this will also be important later. But yeah, this is the first guy that I actually combo. um, he got me kind of low. I I blocked with my headpiece. No trigger because I had no brilliance out or anything. So I didn't want to act. Or actually, I might have activated it for. Oh, sorry. For an embodiment of lightning. I don't know. I don't think I did. I think I just passed on it. Because I was like, oh, I'm gonna play around Hunt's End. Now I'm at 8. His dagger is coming in for 4. So quick maths. I mean, I also couldn't have blocked around Hunt's End because then my hand does nothing and I'd lose. But irrelevant, right? So I'm gonna play around Hunt's End. I think in my head. Because Hansen buffs for 4, right? Feels very, very good, right? No, I'm thinking wrong, because his dagger gets +1 from its own effect when you play a Draconic card. So I didn't play around it. He didn't have it. Never punished. So yeah, he didn't have it. I didn't get punished for it. He had a scar tissue putting me down to 1, precisely. So, I mean, I should always block with the headpiece there. Still, I think. Yeah, so I go down to 1, and then I combo him. I go like CLV into Gone in a Flash, and Gone in a Flash, gone. Yeah, you know the drill. So I'm 7-1 now. Last round, got paired into Niklas Asner again. He's on Prism. I'm on Osilio. We sit at table 1. The same story from like 2 years ago. And I remember it so well, because I was playing Dash, he was playing Dromai. He whooped my ass. He did it this time as well. My deck just said, you are not blocking today, sir. You do not get to block, and you do not get to see combo. And so he wins. It wasn't even close. But it was a very fun game. It was a very enjoyable game to have in like the later stages of the day. Just have it like a chill game. Wait for, and then like we had to wait for top 8 to be announced. That felt like it was a lot of waiting. Then I go home. I get to sleep at like midnight, I think, and I get because I get my food pretty late, and so then right after that I just went like I'm gonna sleep, and I just slept for like 7 or 8 hours. So that was day 1, ending the day on 7-2, which is pretty good. I'm very happy with this because the last 2 years I ended on 6-3. I was like 8th seed both times, or I don't think I was in 2023, but I was very low seated still. So this time I have seating, which is very nice. I'm also sorry, like my nose keeps itching. I don't know why. So I have seating this time, and guess who my first round opponent is? It's the same guy that put me out last year, Jacob Trossing, a very good friend of mine. Very, very good friend, I have to say. Probably the best Flesh and Blood player we have in Sweden. But now, he is on Verdance. And that's very nice for me. That's a very good matchup for me. And I just combo him. Like, my deck just says, yes, you are. And I combo him. And then I have set up for another combo. And so I do that. I go for combo number 2. And he plays Arcane Compliance. 12 value! Who printed that card? Nah, I'm just kidding. That card is very needed, right? So 12 value Arcane Compliance. It was insanity. And like, I could hear the crowd going, because there was a little bit of stream delay. So I could hear the crowd going like, whoa! And so instantly I just went, huh! Like something just happened. But yeah, they were cheering for the Arcane Compliance. It was a very well timed Arcane Compliance. Just 4 off the top, not even in Arsenal. Very cool. But I still had the tempo of the game, and I could sort of just continue after that, because I got continuous setup with Blast to Oblivion and Gun in a Flash. That was very good. Now we're coming to the top 4 game. And this is the game where my story ends. But not for the reason you might think. This is not a story about how I became the national champion. Because that hasn't happened yet. But it will one day. And I know it will. Because my day will come. But that was not today. Because today I did something that for me felt better. And something that felt more important than just winning the game. Even if we're playing about money. Because money is not everything here. Like, even if we're playing for the pride of being the Swedish national champions, that's also not everything. And I will explain it all now. So, my deck again said, yes, here you go, you have a combo. But towards the later stages of the combo, I didn't have a sigil out. Now, in my head, I had a sigil out. And in my opponent's head, I had a sigil out. So I cycled my Sigil of Brilliance to get 1 extra action point. Why did I do this? Because I didn't want to have to use Old Knocker and activate Greaves. Because Blink gives me 2 extra action points, because the Gun in a Flash had Go Again from the Lightning, from the current funnel, right? So then I can play it twice more, which gives me 2 more amp, putting me at exact lethal with etchings. So, that's what I do. The only thing is, I did not have the resource. Or well, I did. We realized after the fact that we already went to replay the match. Because I said, because I thought I had won. And then like after, or like I won, essentially. And then one of the spectators come and congratulate me, and they say, oh, you didn't have a sigil out to pay for Voltsar. Right? And I was like, oh shit, then we need to replay. That was my first thought. My immediate thought was, we need to replay the game. Because I'm not taking the win there, having that happen. I didn't even have in my mind that I had the Old Knocker resource. That wasn't like even like in my consciousness at that point. I didn't think about Old Knocker. I just thought, we need to replay the game because I won in a dishonest way. I even got asked by the head judge, right? Like my opponent, Niklas Bengtsson, very great guy. He's the he won it all. Fucking kudos to him. He deserves it, right? He gave me the option. He said, you choose whatever. I said, we're gonna replay the game. Because I didn't want to take the win. Because it felt undeserved to me. Because again, Old Knocker wasn't in my like conscious headspace at that time. Because the game was scooped up. And like sure, I could have claimed the win because like we couldn't revert to the game state, and it's on both players to make sure that the game state is clear, right? But to me it didn't feel it didn't feel correct. So, like, I know I can take the money. I know I can take the win and go to the finals. Like, sure, I would have had an IP2. That wasn't even on my mind. I didn't care about having an IP2. I just wanted it to be correct. And from my decision point, or like from my standings at that point, that is what felt most correct to me. I didn't want to take the win because it felt dishonest on my part, and so I didn't. I didn't take the win because I care about this game a lot, right? Like, I care about Flesh and Blood a lot. I play it a lot. I care about it a lot. I fucking talk about it a lot. Like, maybe not on the channel anymore because I had a lot in school, but I talk about it a lot. I play so much. This game means a lot to me, and for me, this is competitive integrity. This is about my integrity as a person and me showing that I would rather replay the game than take a win. Sure, now halfway through that game, I realized, shit, I had old knocker, so I had the resource for Voltsar, right? Like, I had that resource. But during that time, I didn't know it. So for me, it still feels correct. I still think I made the right choice. Does it hurt? Yes. Will I will I remember this? Yes. But this way I keep my integrity from the standpoint that I had when making the decision. I can't go back on that decision. And I suddenly can't go back when we're replaying the game. Right? So this is about integrity. This is about my personal integrity and about keeping Flesh and Blood's competitive integrity. Because again, I could have taken the win, but I chose not to. Because for me, it wasn't really about if I win or lose, if I get the IP2 or not. For me, it was about my own personal integrity and my own expectation of who I am and of what I represent. And because I thought that I had won in an unfair way, I didn't want to win that way. And that's why it's important to me. Because Flesh and Blood is just a game for some, but for me, it's more than a game. And I want to keep my integrity in it. I want to make sure that this is the way that I play the game. I do not care if other players would have taken the win because, like, you can do that. But for me, from my point of view, I had done something wrong. I had committed a clear games rule violation that was so detrimental to the game state that, like, I win on something that I should not have. And to me, that was more important than getting the Nationals victory. Even if it stings, even if it hurts, it's more important to me that it's done correctly. And so, again, this is not a story about how I became the national champion. I'm sure that they will come sometime because I know I have the skill. It's a question of when, not if it happens. But up until then, I at least got out of quarters this time. We're getting better. I'm learning. And that's all that matters, to be honest. Once again, congratulations to Niklas Bengtsson for winning the Swedish national championship. You deserve it. You might say that, like, no, you should have had the win. I don't care what you say because you deserve that. I know how hard you work every single week, every single day to play Flesh and Blood at a high level. You're one of the best players that I know. You're one of the best, greatest minds of Flesh and Blood. You're one of the greatest friends I have in the world of Flesh and Blood. You deserve it. This doesn't take anything away from it. Thank you for listening.